matter if you put them on there. All right, so with multiplying decimals, all right, you're still just multiplying just like regular. We talked about multiplication earlier this year, okay? There's still the same process of just multiplying the numbers out. Now, the only difference is they've thrown a decimal in. The decimal doesn't come into play until you get your answer, okay? So, just like yesterday, this is a maze, all right? So we start in the starting position. So that is read as 4 93/100 times 5. Okay, so 4.93 times 5. So there he set it up for us. So let's go ahead and multiply it out. So, like I was saying, that decimal point has nothing to do with it until the very end. So we still just multiply things out. So we're going to multiply the 5 to the 3 first. So what's 5 times 3?
15.
15. So I put my 5 down there. I carry the 1. Then we're going to do 5 times 9.
45.
Plus 1.
46.
46. So I put the 6 down here. Carry the 4. So once, no. That's why this decimal has nothing to do with anything else. We don't do that until the very end. Okay, so we just keep multiplying. All right. So now we do 5 times 4.
20.
Plus 4.
24.
24. Now we have our answer. Okay. Now this is when we have to move our decimal point. So whenever you're multiplying with decimals, you have to wait until the very end when you get your answer. Now, to figure out where the decimal goes, okay, you're going to look at both numbers that you multiplied. So the 4 93/100 and 5. So we have to look at how many numbers are after the decimal point. So in this first one here, how many numbers are after the decimal? 2. How many are after the decimal here?
1. Wait, 0.
0. There isn't a decimal. Trick question. Okay, so no decimal means there's nothing after it. So there's 2. So since there's 2 numbers after the decimal, that means we're going to move it two times to the left. So we come down here to our answer. 1, 2. Those swoopies that Miss Stratton talks about. So our answer is 24 65/100. So you do not move the decimal until the very end. So our answer was that 24 65/100. So we find that path, we color it in. So now we're in this one. So this question is 41 times 46/100. Now, when you have a number like this, there's not an actual whole number in front of the decimal, and it's just a 0, you don't have to put that 0. It's just going to cause the multiplication even further out. As long as it's in front of the decimal. Okay, if it's after the decimal, you're going to have to put it. More than likely. It's there for a reason. What?
Can we still put the 0?
Yeah, you can put it down if you want to. You don't have to, though. So it's totally up to you. I don't do it because it just makes the multiplication process even longer and just adds a bunch of zeros to your problem. So this is how it would be set up. You can actually write this either way. But like addition, it doesn't matter the order you multiply. Okay? But I would suggest putting the longer one on top. You always put the longest one on top. But if they're the same, then you just keep it. But like this one was longer, so we put that one on top. That's with multiplication. So now we do 6 times 1,
6.
6 times 4,
24.
24. So you always start with the one on the right corner down here, take it to the first one above it, then the second one. Always that order. Now, since we have to jump to the 4, what do I put here?
0.
A 0. Now we jump to the 4 and multiply the 4 out. What's 4 times 1?
4.
4. 4 times 4? 16. Now, what do we have to do with these two? Add them up. So we get 6 plus 0.
6.
4 plus 4 is 8. 2 plus 6 is 8. And then we just drop the 1. Okay, so now that's our answer, but we have to move our decimal point. So we go back and look at our numbers. So we have 41. Is there a decimal there?
No.
And 41? No. Okay, then we have 0.46. How many numbers are at the decimal there?
2.
2. So how many times are we moving it?
2.
2. 1, 2. So your answer would be 18 86/100. So that decimal has nothing to do with the actual multiplication. You don't even have to put it there, but you need to remember to move it at the end. Okay, so then we go and find our answer. It's the one facing down. And we color that in. And then you're going to go on to the next one. So you always put, with multiplication, put the longest one on top. Okay, otherwise it's going to look really weird and it's not going to make any sense. Okay, I'm going to give you about 10 more minutes to work on this. Then we're going to talk about division. So work on this for about 10 minutes and then we'll talk about division.